Hi, and welcome. Allison Blythe, certified life coach and licensed clinical social worker. This is my offering to you to talk to you about the basics of communication. It's a concept that all of us do in some capacity, probably every single day. Some may do it more than others, more frequently, more in depth. If you're extroverted, you may find that you communicate on a more consistent basis than someone who's more introverted. If you're in a relationship or in a job where you're required to, like mine, where you're required to do things verbally, you may find yourself communicating on a pretty consistent basis. If we haven't worked together before, you might not know this little quirk about me, but one of the things I often like to do is create a working definition. We make a lot of assumptions about things, and so I would like to just be very clear and specific as I'm communicating to you about the definition of communication. So what I tend to do is pop a word into Siri, and I did that for the word communication, and I would like to share. Communication as defined by dictionary.com: the imparting or exchanging of information or news, a letter or a message containing information or news, the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. Successful. Isn't that interesting that that word would qualify communication? I wonder for you, how successful is your communication? It seems so easy. We're doing it every day, whether it's with strangers or those that we care the most about. We are communicating in some fashion. It seems so simple. And yet, what I find is that communication is actually one of the most complicated, delicate things that we could ever do with another human being. So, what is it? What is it that happens in communication? Just like a chemistry experiment, you put a little bit of this and a little bit of that together. You have some words and you've got some body language, you've got some tone, and you've got some eye contact or not. And there you go, like voila. What is it when you start to put these things together that either take it to the greatest love potion number nine and lets it be a beautiful exchange and interaction? Or on the other hand, what is it that causes it to be such an explosive elixir? And before we know it, things have completely derailed after you're just doing something as simple as communicating. What is it that happens? During this really short offering, I'm going to be talking to you about the top 10 things of what not to do in communication, hoping that you can recognize. The only point of this is to start to tune your ears and your eyes towards patterns that you might be engaging in that tend to derail and add to those explosive exchange between people, so that you can start to tune in to what you're doing and how ineffective it may be. So oftentimes with these patterns, it's like we're asleep at the wheel. Things have become habitual and just so routine that you might not even be conscious of the ways that you're communicating with people and not allowing things to be as successful as they could be. These patterns are to tune you in so that you can really kind of wake up and start to take some responsibility for the words that you choose, the tone that you use, and the ways that you are exchanging. But first, just for now, we're going to talk about the top 10 things of what not to do in communication. So stay tuned and thanks for joining me.